Good day, everybody. My name is Amy. Welcome to the Hill Digestive Pain event. Like I said, my name is Amy Walker. I'm a nutritionist with over 13 years experience helping people in a digestive crisis heal their guts and be the boss of their bodies. So we have a fantastic speaker today. Her name is Gillian. She is going to give you a wealth of knowledge around how you can feng shui to increase your health. I'm a really strong believer that with a health crisis of any kind, or a health concern, or a health goal, 9 times out of 10, you need to use all the modalities that are applicable to you to really improve your health. So say, for instance, I deal with people with nutrition, and I deal with busy corporate women. And sometimes their lives can be a little bit hectic. Having some kind of organization or stress management or a really nice environment can really help them at the end of their busy day come back to a place that's nice and calm. So really excited to have Gillian on today, and I'm just going to introduce her. So I've got her bio here, and I'm having to zoom in because I'm completely trying to kid myself that I don't need glasses. It's going to happen after the lockdown. It's happening. So Gillian has been working in private feng shui consultancy since 2010. She is a classically trained feng shui expert who helps people who want clarity with issues around health, wealth, and relationships. She specializes in collaborating with clients over time to awaken new possibilities and assist each client in achieving both personal and professional goals. As part of her classical feng shui work, she consults with both residential and business properties worldwide. Gillian combines modern practical solutions with the authentic feng shui perspective to successfully collaborate with her clients in personal and business matters. Welcome, Gillian.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, so welcome. I was speaking to Gillian a little before the meeting, and we got into a lot of conversations, so we had to press start, otherwise this just wasn't going to happen. So we get on very well. Really pleased to have Gillian here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Gillian, who's going to tell you a little bit about her story and how she helps clients. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So I have been working in consultancy for over a decade now, and my journey is actually really interesting because I was a little bit of a strange child. I was a little bit of a weird kid, and I've embraced my weirdness as an adult. And I have vivid memories of being a kid when my dad would want to go through the newspaper and find the crossword puzzle, and I was like fighting with him because I wanted the horoscope page. And so that was sort of my first memory of being interested in anything alternative, which evolved over time into curiosity with anything that was out of the mainstream alternative healing, like herbs and flower essences, anything I could get at the health food store. Mm-hmm. And then after I graduated university, I started doing Reiki healing. And then when I moved into my home as an adult, I started to read some books about feng shui and realized that I wanted to incorporate it, but I didn't really understand. So I read more books, and that didn't get me anywhere. And I hired someone and it said, please come to my home and feng shui my house. And I thought that what I was getting was like low budget interior design. Did not know what I was really getting myself into. And she said, do all these things. And I did them. And then it like clicked. Everything just sort of came together really beautifully. And I could feel the difference. I started noticing coincidences and occurrences in my life that I would look around and be like, wow, that's amazing. And it was when the money came that my husband was like, that's really cool. And so I decided to really immerse myself with a classical teacher, and I studied private mentoring for 1.5 years and have really gone into the meat and the wisdom of ancient Chinese knowledge to help our lives. And it's becoming more mainstream now because we're so much we're integrated in a completely different way globally, that it's become much more trendy, right? And recognizable and useful, right? Useful to us all, not just people who are billionaires and millionaires and famous people. We can all access good feng shui in our lives just by understanding what's around us. Mm. So a lot of times people say, well, what exactly is feng shui? Can you tell me what it is? So to me, feng shui is a support system for our lives. It's an ancient Chinese art and science that allows us to create harmony and balance within any environment. And when we create harmony and balance, it lends support to our lives. When our lives have support through our environment, it's just easier for us to achieve the things that we want in life, like good health and well-being and abundance and happiness and love and success and all of those things that wealth looks like to us. So what that means for us individually is that we have the ability to control how supportive our environment is in creating the life that we want right now.
Mm-hmm.
So as a practitioner, I really work very closely with clients on their specific goals to bring harmony and balance within the space using classical feng shui methods and techniques and fun formulas and tools, so that over time, and it's money does not come falling out of the sky, right? Your health does not change instantly. It does take time to integrate. And so I work with clients over time to get to where they want to go, because where you are today, you want to go from here to here. You want to go from point A to point B. And that takes time, but usually I can see beyond point B. And so that's why we work together over time, because your goal today is to get here. And then when you get here, you'll have another goal, and then you'll have another goal. So we constantly work together. I really see it as an ongoing relationship.
Yeah, no, completely. It's like I work with people over a period of time, because, you know, I have done one-off consultations with people, and they'll take that away and they might apply it for a couple of weeks and then they're back to where they were again. So it's important to have, when you have a goal, it's important to understand that one, chances are you might need a little bit of support. Some people don't, but the majority of people do.
Yeah.
And two, that unfortunately, most goals don't happen overnight. And it is a slow process, and it's a learning process.
Absolutely.
So in regards to feng shui, how does, sorry, feng shui, I say it wrong.
No, you got it right.
It's my Britishisms. How can that help with healing?
So mainly when I work with clients, they want to work on three aspects: health, wealth, and relationships.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about feng shui is that there's energetic support that is available to you, and it can help these areas so that you can remove energetic obstacles to getting where you want to go. Mm-hmm. We all have our own personal energy, our own human energy that we live with. There's also energy that comes from heaven that we can't control. It's just out there, and it's what you're born with. And then there's the energy that's part of feng shui, which is what we call earth luck, which is the home, the space, the environment. And so as a person, we really connect these things: heaven, man, earth. And so we are really intricate in the process. So as a practitioner, I look at an individual's birth date, their natal chart, the Chinese astrology chart, to see what kind of energy they have in their person and how we can connect it with the house so that it sort of like lights up like a light bulb. And then everything gets brighter and gets illuminated. You get more clarity. And what that can bring you is it can bring you resources. It can bring you help. Sometimes you just need the right person to help you. You need the right information so you can get clarity. You need to sleep. My goodness, there are people sleeping in environments that is not supportive, and they can't, because goodness, when you get a good night's sleep, you feel like you can take on the world. And you can improve yourself. So sleep is a huge component. So in feng shui, we're looking at all kinds of different aspects to bring you in balance with the energy in your physical environment so that you can prosper. My teacher said this one time. She's actually from Texas, so you will kind of get this. You'll think it's funny. She says, everyone always wants the whole enchilada, but sometimes all you get are the nachos. And the nachos are things like your bed, your front door, your stove, your water features. And so the external environment that's around you needs to be optimized so that you can have fewer obstacles, you have fewer challenges, life feels smoother to you. You can bring in resources and support so you can thrive.
So that's really interesting, because I am quite tidy, but I am the type of person that will put, anything anywhere as long as it seems okay. My partner, on the other hand, is everything has its place and everything has its flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like, yeah, I think historically he has perhaps thought that some people find that, I don't know, a little bit pedantic of him, but I actually quite like it. I actually quite like it because, you know, I would love to know a little bit more about the flow. I'd love to be a little bit more organized. I am not going to pan my camera around so you can see the rest of my living room. I've got, you know, it's just not going to happen. I've got washing hanging up over there and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But so kind of like, what can you do? So what could I do to perhaps feng shui my home?
So that's actually a great lead to talk about the giveaway. So I'm actually giving away a little book that gives information on how you can identify your personal energy based on the year you were born. And this personal energy is put into a formula, which is in the book, and it tells you which are your 4 best directions to use in your home.
Oh, wow.
And what they're for. And there's 2 of them that I would recommend for this group, actually. So the four good directions, and there's 4 bad directions, if you will. The 4 good directions are your overall best direction. That's great for working and business and meetings and things like that, and to stay focused. There's also one that's generally for your health. It's called Heavenly Doctor. Literally, so it brings in help from heaven, it brings in resources, it helps with healing, which I would highly recommend people using. It's excellent for working and sleeping. There's also one for relationships. So if someone feels like they need better relationships or better communication, that's a good one to use. And the 4th one is a stability direction. It's called Fu Wei, and this information is in the book. And it's great for sleeping. So if someone's having a hard time sleeping, it's excellent to put your bed in the sector of your house or the direction of your stability direction, so you can sleep a little bit better. And this is very easy. So, I mean, I would recommend people only change one thing at a time, because if you change everything, you're never going to know it works. So essentially, you identify the year you're born, and it gives you what's called a Gua number, and this is your personal number that gives you your good directions. It breaks you up into East Life Group or West Life Group, and then you will have 4 directions that are good for you. So just as an example, if you were a Gua 8 person, and that would make you a West Life Group person, that means that your best directions would be Southwest, West, Northwest, and Northeast. So if you were a West Life Group person, you might want to sleep with the head of your bed on a west wall. That would be beneficial for you. If you were sleeping in a room where your head was on the north wall, you might want to change that and test it and see how it feels, see how you sleep, and give it some time. I usually say, try things for 90 days and just see how it feels. Give it a chance to let the energy click in and see how it feels. You could also change how you're facing at work. So many of us are working from home. I mean, I was already working from home anyway, but now almost everyone's working from home. And so it can be really helpful to enhance your business relationships. It can be great for keeping you focused, to sit in a direction while you're working and looking toward a direction that's favorable for you. So for example, if you're a West Life Group person and you can face Southwest while you're working, then go look that direction while you're working. That can be really helpful for you. And test it and see how it goes.
That is interesting. That is interesting. I just now need to understand which way is where.
Right. And so you kind of have to go, where does the sun come up, right? So you make it like, oh, the sun comes up over here. And so then the sun sets over here. And you can eat, and honestly, almost every mobile device has a compass on it. And they're free apps that you can download, and they're pretty accurate for the most part. You just kind of like put your phone and you go, oh, where is it? And oh, that's south. Okay, I'm going to use south, if that's one of your favorable directions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long. When you read the book, it's really interesting. You go, oh, I'm sleeping on a direction that causes misfortune, and no wonder I'm having all these challenges, and let me try something else. It's so easy. It's so easy.
I would, yeah. I mean, it's something that's actually really quite new to me. But I do find it all quite fascinating. I've really like opened up over the last few years, especially like growing your own business, you have to do a lot of self-work, and you have to kind of like open up your mind to things that perhaps you wouldn't consider before.
Right.
And it's really opening up a really exciting kind of world to all these like fantastic and fun things to kind of do. You know, it's actually really fun organizing your home to be,
Sure.
you know, in the best possible, you know, things to be in the best possible place, to face the best possible place you can possibly be.
Right.
You know, it's kind of fun to do that, and everyone's indoors at the moment.
Right.
So like.
And
Really
decluttering is really important, right? People are like, oh, you have to clean your house and you have to declutter. Of course you do. But if you're not feeling good, looking at the pile of stuff that you've accumulated can feel overwhelming to even tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from my perspective, in my practice, sometimes it's, let's get to the root of what's needed first. Let's get that in alignment. And once that's in alignment, then you can have the energy that you need to tackle that closet or the pot, you know, the stuff in your office that's been piling up. And so sometimes I will just say to my client, like, if you just do one thing, please just do one thing, please just do, you know, and I'll make a recommendation, just try one and see how that goes. I can't tell you how many times I have had that conversation with clients, and then they call me within days and say, I got the best night's sleep I ever got. I'm so glad I moved my bed. This is amazing. What's next?
Wow.
What can we do? And it's wonderful to hear people, especially when they have a health problem. Because when you're in the thick of not feeling well, all you want is to feel better.
Yeah.
And it's just so important to have people around you who can help guide you, and using the energy within your environment that is supportive. If you've not had good feng shui before, can feel like a huge relief. And so I just encourage people to open up to a new possibility, to bring in some support. It's not just sleep, right? It's not just focus, but it could be that you're working with a practitioner or a doctor who is not as helpful as you want them to be. And maybe you need to bring in some additional support. Being in good feng shui can help open up more opportunities for you. So having good sleep and having more focus does not necessarily mean that your health issue will go away. It may mean that what it's bringing you is extra help or extra support, extra resources that you've not had exposure to before to get on your journey, which is why we do it on an ongoing basis, if that makes any sense.
So it could kind of bring to you, I don't know, some like if we're looking at a health, from a health perspective, you know, it might not necessarily make your symptoms go away, but what it might do is, you know, open you up to perhaps experiencing or, you know, connecting with someone that you know, someone comes into your life that can help you, or you know, can help with your sleep. Oh,
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Exactly. Or you would just maybe be more open, right? If you're not feeling good and you're not sleeping, and someone says you should go talk to this physician or this practitioner, you're not hearing it because you don't feel good, but all of a sudden you start sleeping better or you start feeling better. And then someone says, I want to introduce you to someone who I think that can support you. And then you're more open, right? You go, oh, you're like tuning into, oh, this is the universe knocking on my door. Like, here's the help that I need. And then you become more open to giving it a try and experimenting with something new. With this system that I'm giving away as a free gift, it's an incredibly powerful system. In my practice, it's non-negotiable. It's a foundational component of what I do. So in my practice, it's one piece, right? It's something that you can do at home. It's very easy. It's very safe. But I'm adding layers and layers and layers of other systems on top of that as a practitioner. So it's something that you can do. It's something you can try.
Yeah.
And see for yourself. There's also always a question of, well, if I'm one group and my partner is another group and we sleep in the same bed, what do we do? Well, you don't have to. You can sleep this way. No, you can sleep opposite directions if you really want to. I know people who do that. It doesn't mean that the relationship is over. You don't have to sleep in separate rooms unless you want to. And there are people who do that too. There's advanced formulas for situations like that. So as a practitioner, it's something that I can apply. But it's worth saying that the person in the home who has the most challenge, right, should get the most support. Or if someone is the breadwinner, they also need the most support. So we need to make sure the breadwinner is taken care of so that there's resources in the home.
Yeah.
Choices that I generally make.
Yeah, I think that's really good, and resonates with me. I sleep legendary. My head hits the pillow, and I'm gone.
Good for you.
Absolutely gone. But my partner doesn't. He's a terrible sleeper. So yeah, I might get him.
Oh.
And he's the one that likes to float, so I might get him to try it. So there.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to look at the booklet and see if you're different groups. And if the bed you're using is maybe not so favorable for him, and if there's something else that could be beneficial for both of you. In general, there's, other than the north, virtually every other direction, there's something available for everybody that you can do some fine tuning with as a practitioner. It just happens to be that the north, for Westlife group people, there's just nothing available. So if I had one extra tip in addition to the giveaway, if you're looking through it, is maybe not using North if you're a Westlife group person. That would be the only thing I would say.
Okay.
It's a wonderful system. It's been used for thousands and thousands of years. There's amazing companies and people all over the world using this. And it does not mean that, like I said, money is going to follow this guy. I'm not going to look like Michelle Pfeiffer. It's just not going to happen. I mean, there's some limitations based on, what the vessel that I have here, right? But if you can improve your life 30%, you would feel better, right? You would feel more hopeful. You would feel more optimistic. You would be more productive. And so that's why we work with incremental steps. So I think it's definitely worth incorporating and trying. You've got nothing to lose.
No, you haven't. And literally, I am fighting every single urge to download a Compass app on my phone at the moment.
Right now. It's a really interesting just to check it out. And then all of a sudden you start to feel better and you're like, I read this little book from this free giveaway and I want to tell you about your house, and you want to tell your friends. And it's a really beautiful system. And there's so many intricate layers to the wisdom that is part of Chinese metaphysics. Feng Shui is just one component. I also work with Chinese astrology. Feng Shui is location, location, location. And there's another aspect called date selection, and date selection is timing is everything. So when I put them together as a practitioner, we get beautiful results. I also work with divination systems like the I Ching or Qimen Dunjia, where you can ask questions and get some beautiful answers and clarity on situations. Sometimes I feel like what I do is I just help people get clarity with big questions, and they're looking for someone that they can trust to give some illumination to a different perspective on how to move forward. And then when you have information, confidently move forward. Yeah,
Lord, people, everyone knows you need help with that. It's like I could definitely use some help with some questions. Definitely.
Sure.
So that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For explaining all of that to us. And I'm going to try it out, and I'll let you know. I'll try it out on my other half. Yeah, and I'll let you know. So this will be.
In every home, there's always going to be multiple ways to get support. There's never just, in classical feng shui, there's never just one way. It's not like there's one corner that's good for health and one corner that's good for relationships. It's not like that in classical feng shui, which is why I present the system, because we want to make sure people have options. You may be looking around your office going, I can't do this, but maybe I could do this. And I can't move my bed to this wall, but I can use this one. And so it's great to have options and be able to tap into these resources and this energetic support in different ways, which is why I love it.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Well, guys, if you, thanks to Gillian for explaining all of that to us. Gillian, if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way to do so?
So my business is called Feng Shui in Motion, and the website is FS for Feng Shui inmotion.com. I'm also available to be seen on Instagram, and I have a Facebook page. I consult worldwide. So although we are in a global pandemic, it is absolutely possible to conduct feng shui remotely. These days, with all the modern technology we have, it is completely possible. So if someone feels like they have unanswered questions or need some additional support, I can be reached through my site. You can call me, email me, send me ping me. I'm at your service.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And guys, there are still some great interviews coming up, so make sure you plug into those and retrospectively, grab all the resources you can. there is just so much out there that you can do to help you promote good health. I mean, sleeping, especially from a digestive perspective, is so important, especially if you've got like issues with your digestive tract. Maybe there's some inflammation. You need to be able to get good quality sleep and good quality rest, and have the right kind of like energy and mindset about you, so you can tackle these issues, so your cells can regenerate, so your immune system is strengthened. All of these things is just so important. So I'm really grateful to Gillian for coming on and explaining to us. I mean, this is even new to me, so it's absolutely fascinating. But now is the time to take care of your health. Never has it been more important to make sure that we're the best humans we can be. But I just want to thank you all for joining us, and I will say goodbye, and I look forward to seeing you soon.